1976, a year of upheaval and transformation. This was a year that would be remembered for its seismic shifts and transformative events, a year that left an indelible mark on history. The year 1976 stands as a pivotal moment in recent history, a time when the world seemed to be at a crossroads. It was a year that saw the convergence of numerous significant events, each contributing to the shaping of the modern era. A year marked by profound shifts in the global landscape, 1976 witnessed changes that would ripple through time. These changes were not confined to one region or one aspect of life, but were felt across the globe, affecting politics, culture, and technology. From the halls of power to the streets of distant cities, the impact of these events was undeniable. Leaders and ordinary citizens alike found themselves navigating a world that was rapidly evolving, with new challenges and opportunities emerging at every turn. The world grappled with political upheaval, cultural ferment, and technological advancements that would shape the decades to come. Political protests erupted in various countries, cultural movements gained momentum, and technological innovations began to change the way people lived and worked. This was a year of endings and beginnings, of crises and triumphs, leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory. The end of certain eras brought about new beginnings, and the triumphs of the year were often born out of the crises that preceded them. The aftershocks of the Vietnam War continued to reverberate, affecting not only the United States but also countries around the world. The war's end did not bring immediate peace, and its consequences were felt in the political and social spheres. While the Cold War cast a long shadow over international relations, the tension between the superpowers influenced global politics. The threat of nuclear conflict loomed large, and diplomatic efforts were constantly underway to prevent escalation. New leaders emerged, challenging the established order and igniting movements for change. These leaders brought fresh perspectives and new ideas, inspiring people to envision a different future and to take action towards achieving it. It was a time of both uncertainty and hope, as the world stood on the brink of new possibilities. The uncertainty of the era was matched by a sense of optimism, as people believed that positive change was within reach. As people around the world dared to dream of a better future, they worked towards making those dreams a reality. The aspirations of 1976 were not just fleeting hopes, but were the seeds of the transformations that would unfold in the years to come. The political arena in 1976 was a scene of dramatic transformations. It was a year marked by significant shifts and unexpected turns, both in the United States and around the world. Political landscapes were being reshaped, ideologies were being challenged, and new leaders were emerging on the global stage. In the United States, the shadow of Watergate lingered as the nation prepared for a presidential election. The scandal had left a deep scar on the American political psyche, leading to widespread distrust in government institutions. As the country grappled with the aftermath, the 1976 election became a pivotal moment for restoring faith in democracy. The charismatic Jimmy Carter, a peanut farmer and former governor of Georgia, emerged as a surprise victor, promising honesty and a departure from the scandals of the Nixon era. Carter's campaign focused on transparency and integrity, resonating with a populace eager for change. His down-to-earth persona and commitment to human rights set him apart from his predecessors. Across the Atlantic, the United Kingdom witnessed the rise of Margaret Thatcher as leader of the Conservative Party. Thatcher, known for her strong-willed nature and clear vision, quickly became a formidable force in British politics. Her leadership marked a significant shift towards conservative policies and a focus on individual responsibility. Thatcher's unwavering belief in free markets and her tough stance against communism would come to define her tenure as Prime Minister. She advocated for reducing the power of trade unions, privatizing state-owned industries, and promoting entrepreneurial spirit. Her policies, though controversial, aimed at revitalizing the British economy and curbing inflation. In China, the death of Mao Zedong marked the end of an era. Mao, who had been the founding father of the People's Republic of China, left behind a complex legacy. His death in 1976 brought a sense of uncertainty and anticipation as the nation stood on the brink of monumental change. The Cultural Revolution, which had plunged the nation into chaos, finally came to an end, paving the way for economic reforms under Deng Xiaoping. Deng's pragmatic approach and focus on modernization would steer China towards unprecedented economic growth. The end of the Cultural Revolution marked the beginning of a new chapter in Chinese history, characterized by openness and reform. The year 1976 was a time of great creative ferment, as new sounds, styles, and movements emerged in the cultural sphere. The punk rock scene exploded onto the scene, challenging the conventions of rock and roll with its raw energy and rebellious spirit. Bands like the Ramones, the Sex Pistols, and the Clash gave voice to a generation disillusioned with the status quo. In the world of cinema, a new generation of filmmakers was making its mark. Steven Spielberg's blockbuster thriller Jaws captivated audiences worldwide, while Martin Scorsese's gritty masterpiece Taxi Driver offered a searing commentary on urban decay and alienation. The year 1976 witnessed significant advancements in technology that would lay the foundation for the digital age. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded Apple Computer, introducing the Apple I, one of the first commercially successful personal computers. This marked a turning point in the evolution of computing, making technology more accessible to the masses. In the realm of video games, Atari released the home version of Breakout, a simple yet addictive game that became an instant classic. This paved the way for the rise of the home video game industry, which would transform entertainment in the decades to come. Section 5, Sporting Triumphs, Moments of Glory. The world of sports in 1976 was filled with memorable moments and inspiring achievements. The Summer Olympics were held in Montreal, Canada, with Nadia Comaneci, a 14-year-old Romanian gymnast, captivating the world with her perfect scores and balletic grace. In boxing, the Thrilla in Manila saw Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier square off in one of the most brutal and iconic fights in history. Ali emerged victorious in the 14th round, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Section 6, the Soweto Uprising, a turning point against apartheid. On June 16, 1976, the township of Soweto in South Africa became the epicenter of a student uprising that would shake the foundations of apartheid. Thousands of black students took to the streets to protest the government's decree that Afrikaans be used as the language of instruction in schools. The police responded with brutal force, killing hundreds of unarmed protesters, including children. The Soweto uprising sent shockwaves around the world, drawing international condemnation of South Africa's apartheid regime and galvanizing support for the anti-apartheid movement. Section 7, the Summer Olympics. Nadia Comaneci makes history. The 1976 Summer Olympics, held in Montreal, Canada, will forever be remembered for the extraordinary performance of Nadia Comaneci. At just 14 years old, the Romanian gymnast achieved the unthinkable, scoring the first perfect 10 in Olympic gymnastics history. Her flawless routines on the uneven bars and balance beam captivated audiences worldwide, ushering in a new era of grace and athleticism in the sport. Comaneci's achievements transcended the world of sports, inspiring millions with her determination and poise. Section 8, the Ramones and the Dawn of Punk Rock. In 1976, a new sound erupted from the underground music scene, raw, rebellious, and full of youthful energy punk rock. Among the pioneers of this musical revolution were the Ramones, a band from the working-class neighborhoods of Queens, New York. Their self-titled debut album, released that year, became a punk manifesto, featuring short, fast, and loud songs that rejected the bloated excesses of mainstream rock. The Ramones' influence on music was immediate and lasting, inspiring countless bands and helping to shape the sound of alternative rock for generations to come. Section 9, 1976, A Legacy of Change. As 1976 drew to a close, the world had been irrevocably changed. It was a year marked by significant events that left an indelible mark on history. The echoes of these events were felt across continents, affecting millions of lives and altering the course of nations. The events of that tumultuous year had shaken old certainties, ignited new movements, and set in motion forces that would continue to shape the future. Protests erupted in major cities demanding justice and equality, while political rallies drew unprecedented crowds, all united by a common desire for change. From the political upheavals to the cultural breakthroughs and technological advancements, 1976 left an enduring legacy. It was a year where art and culture flourished, reflecting the social changes and technological innovations that were taking place. New forms of expression emerged, challenging traditional norms and pushing the boundaries of creativity. The spirit of innovation, rebellion, and the pursuit of equality that defined the year continued to resonate in the years that followed. Movements for social change gained momentum, inspiring future generations to continue the fight for justice and equality. Technological advancements paved the way for a new era of connectivity and progress. The world had entered a new era, one where the old order was being challenged and the possibilities for the future seemed limitless. The challenges of the past had given rise to new opportunities, and the spirit of 1976 lived on, reminding us that change is always possible and the future is ours to shape.